Respected co-panelists, chairman of this session, most respected dignitaries of the dais. So I'll complete my thought within 20 minutes. That's the time allotted to me. Promoting quality in higher education has been stressed upon from the Radhakrishnan Commission on University Education onwards. The Commission had set up goals for development of higher education. According to the Commission, the most important and urgent reform needed in education is to transform it, to endeavor to relate to the life, needs and aspirations of the people, and thereby make it the powerful instrument of social, economic and cultural transformation necessary for the realization of the national goals. For this purpose, education should be developed so as to increase productivity, achieve social and national integration, accelerate the process of modernization, and cultivate social, moral, and spiritual values. The National Policy on Higher Education 1986 translated the vision of Radhakrishnan Commission and Kothari Commission in 5 main goals for higher education. 1. Greater access. 2. Equal access, that means equity. Quality and excellence, the 3rd one. 4th one, relevance. And the last one, value-based education. Everywhere the theme, value-based education, is there at the very beginning of the educational system. A shift towards research-based education. Research is an activity based on intellectual investigation and has the purpose of discovering, interpreting and revising human knowledge and experience on various aspects of life. It is crucial for the overall development of human society. As the economic paradigm undergo a change in the globalized world, future economic progress will be increasingly be a function of the intellectual capital that a nation can create. According to the Knowledge Commission, for India to be globally competitive in the 21st century, a critical factor would be our ability to harness our knowledge potential. With 550 million people below the age of 25, our human capital is our greatest asset. To be utilized this burgeoning potential, the country needs a knowledge-oriented paradigm and focused capacity in quality building in the field of education. The potential is tremendous, but the task of realizing it is daunting too. Quality research is fundamental for generating intellectual capital necessary to survive and sustain economic growth and prosperity in the competitive global markets. It is widely recognized that there is a severe shortage of people engaged in the academic and industrial research in the country. As we move towards a knowledge society, reviving research culture in all established institutions of higher learning is necessary. High quality research in different areas of science and technology is critical to productivity, efficiency, quality, cost and new products and services for achieving long-term competitive advantage. In addition, domain expertise in all frontiers of knowledge is essential for the overall progress of society as a whole. Academic reforms and better infrastructure should go hand in hand with nurturing and sustaining a research environment. Dedicated researchers involved in different training of the students at the undergraduate and graduate level create a greater impact. These reforms include academic mobility, resource sharing, and research-based education. Even in the developed countries, it is fully accepted that long-term investment in education and increased spending on research and development is necessary to maintain the lead in cutting-edge research. This is even more relevant in India today. At the same time as striving for greater influx of people towards research careers, institutions must ensure that the research undertaken matches global quality in the relevant field. In addition to graduate programs, should be continually reviewed so as to make them vibrant, challenging, and internationally relevant. In the modern context, there is a crying need for a healthy and enlightened cooperation between private industry and academia, which replaces the existing feelings of doubt and mistrust. Why we are afraid for establishing the regional campus or campus of worldwide universities in India? There is a question. Why we are not accepting PPP model, private-public participation in education system? Why we are afraid of tie-up with industry and academic area? These three questions are relevant here. So we are always preaching about extension, collaboration, etc., worldwide connectivity or something like that. So tinning programs, etc. Why we are afraid of getting in touch with the major universities in India? That means suppose the JNU may have a place in my university and my university may have a place in Banaras Hindu University. Tie-up inside India is also possible. So we should think about more collaborative programs or training programs within India also. That is also a factor to be developed to exchange the importance of education. Otherwise, the research collaboration is also inevitable. I think so. Then, the next point, in the modern context, there is a crying need for the healthy and enlightened cooperation between private industry and academia, which replaces the existing feelings of doubt and mistrust. While industry should recognize the support of education is beneficial, universities should take cognizance of the changing needs of private enterprise in planning new courses. This could be achieved by meaning private-public partnership. This could be achieved in universities also, industry academia interactions promoting collaboration and investment in educational research. Research is increasingly becoming a collective global endeavor. It is thus necessary to harness global talent and expertise to develop capacity within the country. This is also essential if the nation is to remain a participant in global cutting-edge research. The UNESCO methodology measures the quality of research in two dimensions, namely there is output and impact. These 2 points are very relevant now. While the former accounts for the proportionate quantity of publications, the latter connotes the citation impact. Detailed report of UNESCO about the higher education in Asia stated that world-class research performance at the broad subject levels is relatively rare in Asia. One university in Japan has achieved world-class research performance in physics and astronomy, and 2 others in the Republic of Korea and Singapore have achieved world-class performance in material science. Arguably, the 3 broad subject areas of greatest strength in Asia considered as excellent are chemistry, environmental science, and material sciences. Overall, most research conducted in broad subject areas in Asian universities is in the below average performance bands. The report also pointed out that while there is considerable evidence that countries that spend more on research benefit from the investment financially, that linkage can be complicated. In many countries, most research is not done at universities but by private sector enterprises. Blend of technology-enabled education. With technology educated students and parents have a variety of learning tools at their fingertips. Here are some of the ways in which technology improves education over time. English concern over learner-centric system. More attention would flow in developing a better system that is learner-centric and with a need-based curriculum. Next one. Teachers can collaborate to share their ideas and resources through virtual platforms. They can communicate with others across the world in an instant, meet the shortcomings of their work, refine it, and provide their students with the best This approach definitely enhances the practice of teaching. And next one, students can develop valuable research skills at a young age. Technology gives students immediate access to an abundance of quality information which leads to learning at much quicker rates than before. Students and teachers have greater access to an expanse of material. Hard copy books of publications would tend to vanish from the scene. There are plenty of resourceful, credible websites available on the internet that both teachers and students can utilize. The internet also provides a variety of knowledge and does not limit students to one person's opinion. Virtual learning is now an equally credible opinion. Face-to-face interaction is huge, especially in the younger years. But some students work better than when they can go at their own pace. Online education is now accredited and has changed the way we view education. The limitations of pure virtual learning have been practically proposed to be overcome by the practice of blended learning. And coming to the other area, I will complete my presentation within 2-3 minutes. Technology versus eco-centric humanism. That is a new point that is to be discussed here, I think so. Point number one, the technology needs to be crafted with eco-centric humanism will be the need of the world in the coming years. Otherwise, the technology may become absolute and the technological advancement saturated. The technology should try to inculcate the soul of environment, sensitized human values in its pursuits. Discoveries, developments and preservations and distributions of the technological advancement need to be shared and linked with all walks of human life with a deep-rooted respect to the social justice and right-based perceptions. The challenge is to make the education an endeavor which helps the students and future generations transcend the social, political, cultural, economical, racial, gender, religious, case-based discriminations, demarcations, exclusions, barriers, and limitations. Empowering the students, teachers, parents, and the general community through the education will be more accepted mantras than the present-day skill-based education. Effort of education should be humanization of the machines and environment sensitization of humanity and machines than the mechanization of humanity and exploitation of the nature. Hence, the present-day programs and courses need to be reconstructed and revamped according to future needs and trends in the human history. The effort of the higher education may be to make the universalized universities and specialities than the specializations and specialized universities. Systems and procedures of educations need to be more flexible and culture-specific so that the youngsters can depend more on their creativity and thinking potentials for the development of the community and sustainability of the Mother Earth. The teaching learning process needs to be more learners-friendly and socially competent than individually skill-making, market force-driven. So one point is also I wish to add. The total percentage of patents produced by Indians for other nations worldwide is near about 17%. And in our credit, India's credit, the patent is 1 to 2%. Why it is happening? Indians are producing patents for other countries. And India is producing patents below 2%. Then that is a question that is to be addressed here. And during the time, my friend Mr. Paul Mundadan is here, the engineers are recruited in banks, especially as probationary officers. Near about 50 to 60% of the recruitment during the year 2015-16 is near about 60%. They are engineers. Actually, whether engineers are needed in banks as officers, there's a relevant questions. And another one, in IAS, IPS, and other in competitive side, near about 99% of the final attempt, that's as means the interview level, I think so, in intermediate, the final level, near about 99% is engineers. So the shift, we should think about, we are focusing on engineering, and the engineers are bankers, and engineers are IAS, IPS officers. And why we are spending too much amount for that area, and a shift is there from one area to another area without giving something to the society as an engineer or as a medical practitioner, etc., etc. There is to be addressed, I think so. That's to be addressed. That is to be addressed. Anyhow, I am concluding my speech. The challenges ahead of marching towards a knowledge society through research-based education are more on concerned with the pedagogy and philosophy of converging interdisciplinary approaches across different domains. Research projects, though being part of the curriculum even at the undergraduate levels, the originality of the works are often questioned in most deliberations. Plagiarism and ethics in research attracts critic interest in the line. Educators have a better role here to inculcate a research-based thought process in the core content of course delivery at moderate degree to suit the very nature and dimensions of the course under consideration. Let there be a conscious effort to infuse radical shifts towards the constructive lines of thought aimed at developing a sustainable knowledge society that is rooted through research-based education. With these few words, I wish to conclude. Thank you.